Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of It Takes Two. I'm Emily,
And I'm Quinlan.
and today we're going to be talking about all things college.
We're going to be talking about, tips, tricks, hacks, do's, don'ts. So make sure you follow us on your socials so you can let us know what you found out during college, what you're most excited for about college. It Takes Two is our Spotify and our YouTube, and then our Twitter is Takes Two Pod.
Okay, so I think an important thing to start this episode with is give you guys a little bit of backstory. Me and Quinlan actually met because we were roommates our freshman year.
Yeah, really crazy because we met a lot of people who had horror stories about their freshman roommate, especially randomly assigned roommates, but not me and Emily. The day one, we just clicked, and we chose to live together for a couple years, and still best friends, obviously, because now we're here 1,000 miles apart recording together. So
What is a better sign of friendship than starting a podcast? I don't know.
I literally, that is top tier.
And the fact that we don't hate each other after living together for so long, I think just says something because, like you said, so many people after their first year together were like, I never want to see this person ever again.
It would just be like utterly anxiety inducing when you would see your like ex roommate for some people. Not me and Emily, here we are.
We were too awkward in the beginning to even make other friends. So we were just like, do you want to hang out? And it just worked.
Yep, we're like, do you want to go to breakfast? Like it just kind of started from, basic necessities, like didn't want to sit in the dining hall by ourselves. So, now we would choose to sit together every day if we could. So
Well, I'm glad you confirmed that. I'm glad we still would. Dude, I don't even know how that happened. I think the way I was told our college picks, at least for female roommates, because there were no co-ed dorms or anything, they pair female roommates by music choice, I believe is what I heard, which makes sense, but also feels a little weird.
Yeah, because I know, quite a few people that their roommates just didn't click. And I feel like music taste is a good like thing to bond with somebody over, but obviously our music taste is similar, but I just don't see how that could be like what they base their whole roommate situation on. That just seems like it could have so many poor outcomes.
And it did.
Yeah, obviously it did.
I look back at that too and I'm like, how did those people, like, they couldn't have had the same music taste. Like, you got to be kidding me that this is how they actually picked roommates, because I do not believe you.
Yeah, I couldn't see it being the reason why they would like pair us together, or like not just us, but like anybody. And I don't even really remember what I wrote on that form. What we would have wrote that would have been similar at the time, no clue. I don't even remember 90% of the questions on that roommate questionnaire. Like obviously there was the basics, like what time do you wake up? What time do you go to bed? How do you want to use your room for like studying or sleeping, or like I remember those, but I don't remember like things that would of made impacts on how we would choose to be, how other people would pick us to be roommates.
And that's still funny because like we talked about in the last episode, you're very much a morning person. I'm very much not. There's quite a few things that you think would be like very different for us.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it worked. Fate is magic. We'll just say the stars aligned. It also helps, I believe, that I grew up with a Virgo, so that makes sense. Your birthdays are literally one day apart.
My childhood best friend in grade school was a Libra, so I think we just click. I think it just worked.
Virgo Libra best friend combinations, most underrated in the zodiac sign.
100%. 100%.
And then we're funny.
Yeah, and then we're funny. Like I think that's it.
That's the key.
That's the key. We have a similar sense of humor, so I think that definitely like
that is very true.
And it also helps that like I laugh at literally everything, and I think that helps people like try to make more jokes and like connect, because I literally, you could say whatever you want and I'll laugh. Like, I don't really care what the situation is. That's just who I am. And so I don't know. I think that definitely plays a big role in our humor for sure.
That's very true. Yeah, because I got you that plaque too that says like, at least we think we're funny.
Yeah, because I think that's a big, we're funny, but we'll see how many people actually think we're funny when we start getting these podcasts out there, when we got some regular listeners, maybe, you know, we'll see if they think we're funny.
Yeah, because literally I say like on a regular basis, I'm not a funny person, but I feel like when we're together, we are funny. Like you make me think I'm funny.
And I think that's where my laugh comes in, is like, I totally think your sense of humor is funny. I think it's the greatest, but I also think literally anything's funny.
I know, I've been editing all of these episodes, and every time you start like having a laugh break in it, I just start cracking up and I'm like, this is not helpful right now, Quinlan. You're too funny.
I'm too funny. You got to cut the laugh sometimes, because it'll be there every 5 seconds. Otherwise, it'll just be a laugh track of me in the back.
No, sometimes I literally just use your laughing to transition to other topics and stuff, because I'm like, what's a better pause break than Quinlan laughing?
It'll just my laugh will just bleed us into the next topic. Bam, we're there.
I think that's funny because me and my dad, I got him to start listening to podcasts while I was home recently, and we listened to one, and one of the hosts, every time he laughs, like, it makes us both chuckle. Like, I think it's like the most adorable laugh ever. And so if you don't have a good laugh, like, what's the point?
And I think if you think something funny, why not laugh? Even if something makes you smile, why not laugh too? It'll make things better.
Exactly. I feel like I've taken life way too seriously for too long. So I'm like, no, it's time to start doing things that make me happy, feel fulfilled, and like have some fun with it. Cause like life isn't serious.
No, it's not. It's literally not. So now that we've talked about how funny we are, I think I should explain a little bit why we think we're qualified to talk about this. We both recently graduated from a 4-year college. I graduated in December. Emily graduated in May. So we're qualified. We know some things. We've done this before.
Highly qualified, one could say.
Highly. You know, I graduated early. I was like, bam, get out of here. I was like, I'm the best at college. Peace out. No, I'm just kidding. I just had transfer credit. But still, I think that was important to add in there. We're not like really old and out of touch. We've actually have been to college. We're not just talking about college to talk about it. We've actually done this now. Okay, now we can move into the tips and tricks. That was just my, like, I wanted to tell people.
It's like giving a college presentation twice a week.
Yeah, twice a week. We come with evidence. We come prepared.
I have to do homework, which is literally the homework I did in school. I'm just like editing on my laptop like 6 hours a day. I'm just like, I gotta do stuff.
I have stuff to do.
So a big thing is campus events. You definitely want to go to a lot of things, but don't feel like you have to go to everything, because if you're not having a good time, I can almost guarantee you those aren't the people you're going to be wanting to hang out with or make friends with. So look for the things that make you happy and you want to join.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think me and Emily definitely leaned on each other a lot during that first like month or two, and we went to all the campus events. Even if it was for 5 minutes, we got there, we kind of got a feel for what was going on. We're like, okay, these aren't our people. Like, we're not going to click with any of these people. We got the free t-shirt. Let's go. Like, don't feel the need to have to stick with all these people or like go to all these events and stick it out. Like, just give it a try. If it's not interesting, leave. Like, it's not that serious, obviously.
And sometimes you'll find events that you wouldn't expect to be fun, but you really enjoy. Like, our school, they built a new gym our freshman year, and it was like a whole student activity center. And they started hosting game nights there. And we found that those were actually really fun compared to most of the other student events. They had Mario Kart and board games and music and snacks. And then they even had karaoke. We kill it at karaoke. Take a hint. We're great. Victorious Babies. Obviously, we killed it. We were hosting prospective students at the time. They were hyping us up. We had a group of like 12 of them at that point.
Yeah, everyone else on our floor that was like hosting a student that night were like, oh, we made plans. Will you just take our students? And me and Emily were like, we've already got 6 now, so might as well pack them on. And yeah, by the end of the night, we ended up with like our entire dorms group of prospective students, and we all went and sang karaoke.
We were just like the prospective moms on our floor. Like every time there was prospective students, I guarantee you at least one or two was just like dropped off with us because they're like, oh, you already have some, right? Just take more.
And it's such a terrible thing to like ditch people like that, especially when you signed up to be this host. And like we signed up because we wanted to, make an impression for these incoming students for the next year. Like, hey, we do like it here. You should come, But to have like your actual host be like, I'm busy, take these. It's a person.
That actually happened to me my senior year of high school when I came to visit. Like I was put with an honor student and she just like dropped me off with her roommate and I just played cards with them and their friends in like the lobby of the dorm until late at night, and then I got up for breakfast and neither one of them was there. So I was like, I really want students to feel more welcomed than that, even if they don't want to come here. Just like, this is supposed to be a fun experience. Nobody wants to feel like, oh, I'm not even worth being like showed around or anything.
For a single night. Exactly. So yeah, me and Emily always made sure that like we took the extra time. We, moved our plans around for those nights just so that we could spend a whole night with these, incoming students. They were making the decision whether or not to come to this school, and we wanted to make sure they had a good time. And, we took them to the campus events. We took them to those karaoke nights and those game nights. And, they made friends, we made friends because other people were bringing their students. And so that's the type of community and like events that you want to find that you enjoy, that you should keep going to. Don't force yourself to be there if you're not having a good time.
And we actually like had a really good time with those prospective students and we enjoyed it. Some of them even ended up coming to the school.
Yeah, I ended up working so the next year, it was my sophomore year and would have been that incoming student's freshman year. And me and her ended up working at the same work study job. And we were good friends for the, 3 years that we went to school together. So
we also got some wild stories out of being hosts too.
Oh gosh.
I feel like you should explain this one because most of it happened to you. You got the night part, and then the next morning was where my trauma happened.
Yeah, so it was our first time hosting a student. I'm surprised we stuck it out and continued hosting after this.
The fact we ever hosted again after this, I was so freaked out. I was like texting you from our room.
So basically, they gave you a free coffee card to go like take the student to go get coffee. Well, our student was like, I don't want to. And I was like, okay, well, like everyone else is going, so we should go. Like there's gonna be tons of people. She's like, I don't want to go. And I was like, well, I guess if you don't really want to go, then I'm not gonna make you go. So she's like, what can we do? Blah, blah. We decided to play Monopoly. And we played Monopoly, I kid you not, for like 3 hours waiting for everybody to get back from coffee.
And I was gone at this point because this is one of the nights where like we were babysitting all of the prospective students. Mm-hmm. So I had to just take them to go get coffee, and then they wanted to stop by one of the events that was happening. So I like got Quinlan a coffee. We were slowly making our way back. We were gone for a long time.
Yeah, and obviously Monopoly is a long game. We played through a few rounds of Monopoly, like multiple games, and I like that's all she wanted to do. Didn't want to watch a movie, didn't want to go check anything out, like no tour, no nothing. She just wanted to sit in her room and play Monopoly. And to this day, I will not play Monopoly.
I know, it makes me upset because I love Monopoly and no one will ever play it with me, not even Quinlan, because it's traumatizing now.
It is. It took forever. I'm not even kidding. We played forever. But then, Emily came back. We finished out the night. We went to bed. And then when Emily's incident happened.
Okay, so we went to bed. First of all, she just brought a blanket and a pillow. That was it. She was like, no, I don't sleep in pajamas. I only sleep in jeans, and just like goes to bed on our floor. We're like, okay, you do you, whatever. Like, it's a little weird, but it's okay. And then the next morning, Quinlan gets up and like goes to the bathroom to like get changed and stuff. As soon as Quinlan leaves, out of a dead sleep, this girl just sits up like a vampire in the dark and just stares at me because our beds were like across from each other, and me and Quinlan's heads faced the same way and our feet were towards the door. This girl was laying in the middle between our two beds with her head facing the door. So she just sat up and stared into my soul in bed. I was like texting Quinlan. I was like, oh my gosh, please come back quickly. And I just like stood up, stepped over her, and went and flipped on the light switch. And I was like, hi.
Hi.
That was the most uncomfortable thing ever.
Yeah, after that, I am so surprised that we even attempted to do a second night of hosting because it was a horror show. Like, that's how it was.
We got lucky though after that because every other student we had was like super nice and we had a good time with all of them. We didn't really have any other weird incidents. There was some other weird people we had to deal with, but they were never like our students. But that was traumatizing. We still joke about this all the time. Like, this isn't just like oh, we brought it up for the podcast. No, we talk about this all the time.
It was something else. I literally have never experienced anything like that before. So.
The other great thing about hosting students was that the food was always better when they came because the university was like, oh, we got to show them that we're good here. It's not like, that's the first thing we tell them. Like, this is not consistent. This is only when prospective students and their families come.
Yeah, you could just tell, like, after we had been there, you know, for a couple weeks, we realized food was great the first week when parents were still there, you know, people were still getting their footing. But then after that, it just literally just plummeted. Food just became like garbage. We could barely eat it. I had to stop. I had been vegetarian for 4 years at this point, and I had to stop because I was starving myself. I was eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich every night for dinner because that's all that they would offer me. I was like, well, I guess I'll start eating some chicken every once in a while because it was literally so bad.
And to be fair, even like the non-vegetarian options were rough. Like dietary restrictions, all basically non-existent there. I even know some people that got served raw chicken once. Like, yeah, it's not good.
So yeah, cutting down on the vegetarian really didn't make much of a difference. It meant that I could eat some chicken nuggets here and there, you know, like some things were consistent, like
the line was out the door on chicken tender night because it was the only thing people knew was good. And then our sophomore year, they stopped doing chicken tender night.
It was too many people were coming in because nobody would come in any other day until it was the chicken tender night. Then they realized, well, if we got rid of it, then we're not going to have as many people coming in still. We're still getting paid for all these meal plans. But so another like staple for us was, you know, making sure that our mini fridge was stocked, like in our dorm room. We would try to go to the dining hall to eat because we paid for that.
They forced you to have a meal plan your freshman and sophomore year because they forced you to live on campus.
It was your freshman year, you had to have the biggest meal plan, which was 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. So you were paying a bunch of money for this meal plan, you know? That's not cheap. So we would try to go most days to the dinner or whatnot, but we couldn't eat it. So we'd have to go back to our dorm and make mac and cheese or make top ramen or something else.
I just remembered the buttery noodle incident.
No.
Yes.
Not the buttery noodles.
I will insert a picture of this into our podcast.
You have a picture of it?
I have a picture of it.
So basically there was 3 of us and we were eating mac and cheese. We decided to make some mac and cheese, Kraft box mac and cheese. Well, they were like, oh, just put the whole stick of butter in there. It's fine. We're making 2 boxes. And I was like, I'm pretty sure the measurement says only put like 2 or 3 tablespoons per box. And they were like, that's not that much more butter. It's fine. And I was like, go ahead. Sounds great.
I swear they changed the recipe that you used to add more butter.
So here we are. Like I said, I think it's 2 or 3 tablespoons of butter per box. So at most we should have should have had 6 tablespoons of butter. A stick of butter is 8. It was literally a whole stick of butter sitting on top of the mac and cheese. And like I said, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be 2 though. It's either 2 or 3. So it could have been double the amount of butter that we were supposed to have. 8 tablespoons of butter.
Yeah, looking back, I'm pretty sure we were only supposed to put half stick in.
So we ate it, okay? And then
We did. We did.
We're all sitting around our table and we're just like, oh my God, my stomach hurts so bad. Like I feel like an actual buttery noodle.
That just became our meme after that, and Quinlan has never let me live that down.
No, I couldn't believe that. I was like, I let them, obviously. I wasn't gonna say no, but I tried to say, like, talk them out of it. But obviously I wasn't gonna rip the butter out of their hands. Like, I was like, hey.
I feel like I need to clarify. I do know how to cook. I just was
yeah,
convinced
100%.
that it takes double the amount of butter. Like,
Oh, yeah, no, 100%. I would never say Emily's not a cook, and she's great, but that particular day with the mac and cheese,
I was like, who needs to read the instructions? It's just a stick of butter. 2 boxes, stick of butter, obviously.
it was not okay.
I regret my decisions.
But back to the mini fridge. You definitely want your own freezer. Like, I know it's more expensive to get a mini fridge with that upper freezer section.
Like the 2 doors.
Yeah, a separate door for the freezer. I know that's more expensive and like it's harder to afford something like that, especially on the top of college. But I definitely think it was worth it. We could not worry about our ice cream being eaten or, somebody else eating something out of it because we had our own fridge in our room. Like we had a communal fridge in like the kitchen area, but we would keep things for the most part in our own fridge because people would take your stuff
All the time.
And so I definitely think that was a splurge, like an extra thing you should definitely opt for.
Plus, where are you going to store all of your ice cream sandwiches otherwise?
Oh my God. No, I totally forgot. I just said ice cream because I like ice cream, but no, I totally forgot about that.
I wish I had a picture of that one.
How many ice cream sandwiches did we have and why did we have them all? I just remember every time we opened the freezer, ice cream sandwiches would come flying out.
You and me were at Walmart one day and we were just like looking around for snacks and stuff, looking at ice cream. We're like, oh, we should definitely get some ice cream or like ice cream sandwiches or something.
Mm-hmm.
They just happened to have like a super clearance sale where all of the boxes of ice cream sandwiches were 97 cents for like 20. So we bought like 5 or 6 of those boxes. So we had over 100 ice cream sandwiches stuffed in my little mini fridge.
The tiny mini fridge, like it had a freezer compartment, so obviously it's bigger than some mini fridges freezers, but not 100 ice cream sandwiches big.
We couldn't buy any other frozen food for like 2 months because we just had so many ice cream sandwiches.
And we were just giving them away. Like people, you want an ice cream sandwich? You want an ice cream sandwich? We only spent $5 on 100 of them,
Another essential part of your mini fridge is that it must have a giant pair of googly eyes on it at all times.
All times. At one point in time, we were going to be YouTubers.
And look at us now.
And look at us now, okay? Look at us now.
We filmed one slime tutorial and that footage will never exist. Maybe I'll insert a clip of it here.
But anyway, we were going to do a vlog style thing. So we went to the dollar store and we decided to buy some googly eyes behind Emily's back.
I don't even know what they're doing right now. We got poster boards, we've got glue and such, glitter glue, regular glue, foamy beads, and eyeballs.
She thought we were just getting slime stuff, but we took a video of it on the camera. And so she had no idea either, but we totally were like, look, we got googly eyes. And then she was gone for some reason and we googly eyed her entire room. Like my room too, obviously, because it was mine, but specifically everything she owned. We put
every
googly eyes
single
on.
item, from my Pringles can to my mini fridge to my stuffed animals.
Like if it had eyes, it had a second set of eyes because
I sold that mini fridge with the googly eyes still on it.
Yeah, like her cereal boxes, anything that we could figure out to put eyes on, we put them on there.
Definitely go check out our YouTube, guys. I definitely am going to be inserting clips of these.
Oh, 100%. We've got footage. We tried to be YouTubers for a day.
I have a whole vlog. That I never edited together because we were convinced that we were going to do that. We hung a phone from the ceiling to be a third angle.
Obviously, we quit in a day, so it was a good thing we didn't spend money on a tripod or something, But we hung the phone with some tape from the ceiling. That was pretty much it. And it fell on us while we were making slime. So
I promise I have a degree in video production and I'm actually a professional now. We no longer hang cameras with string from the ceiling.
With string and tape from the ceiling.
At least not most of the time.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
You do.
So yeah, between the phone falling from the ceiling and us we're just kind of rowdy. We had fun. We were freshmen. Like, I think I made an impression on an RA, or 2 or 3 actually, because all 3 of the RAs I had have a negative opinion of me. But I think it's just because I'm loud and a little rowdy compared to some other people. But
you weren't even the rowdiest person on our floor by any means.
By any means. We had a floor meeting one night and the RA was like, we've had some noise complaints. And then she looked directly at me.
I forgot about that.
Everybody else on the floor looked right at me. And I was like, I'm the noise complaint, really? Not the girl rolling up and down the floor on her hoverboard playing the guitar. I'm the noise complaint because I talk too loud.
Also, we should clarify, we lived at the complete end of the hallway. Like, you had to walk all the way down the hall. We were the last door on the top floor of this building.
So yes, we did have neighbors below us, but we didn't have heavy foot traffic over there because we were the only ones that walked to that end of the hallway of that floor because that was the only door. You had to come through the other way. I just happened to make a great impression on all of our RAs. They did not like me for some reason.
I mean, I feel like it's not even worth being an RA. Even at other universities, like we lived on a dry campus and stuff, but like, even if you don't, no one wants to really invite the RAs to go do things or anything because they're like, oh, well, I don't want to get in trouble.
I always felt like our RAs were, well, actually all 3 of our RAs dated people off campus and hung out off campus all day, every day, because they couldn't make friends with people because they had to be rule enforcers. Free housing sounds nice, but I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah,
I didn't like them. I didn't like the RAs. They didn't like me, so... I mean, if you really want to be an RA, we're not telling you can't. But I'm just saying, like, it's going to be harder for you to figure out who your friends are, making friends in general, because people are going to be hesitant to share things with you because they don't want to get in trouble.
Especially don't do it when you're like a freshman or sophomore, because I know some people that did it really early on and like you're still trying to figure out who you are. It's kind of the same thing of how I say like don't get into a relationship your freshman year because you don't even know who you are going into college. You might think you have an idea, and like a lot of people say going into college, like, oh, I want to reinvent myself, I want to be like this new version of myself, and it's like you don't even really know who you are yet, so don't try to be someone else. You need to learn who you are outside of the space you've existed in for so long, because was your personality just the space you lived in, or was that truly who you are
without your parent, guardian, whatnot, giving you these expectations at home, and then you get into this new space and you're able to push those boundaries out because those aren't really applicable to you anymore. You get to try to stretch who you are, figure out what works for you. You should be taking these 4 years at college to really learn about yourself more than anything.
The biggest like crazy thing to me is I feel like a lot of people find a sense of style when they're in college more so. When we were in high school dress codes were so strict, especially like my school. It was a college prep school, so we were like super strict. We weren't uniforms, but like I was shocked when like there's no dress code in college. Logically, you understand that, but then seeing that, you're not prepared. Like there was just girls in bikinis playing volleyball on the quad one day, and I was like, college, cool.
College. There was also a dude on the sand volleyball court in a T-Rex blow-up suit. So
What was that even for? It looked like it was for a marketing thing, but I never
I-
saw it.
I never saw it either. Like it was just some guy in a like inflatable T-Rex suit hitting a volleyball, but failing miserably because he was in a T-Rex suit, you know? It was like our freshman year. It was like
Yeah, because our dorm looked over the volleyball courts and he was just running around in a T-Rex suit. We were like, what is going on?
who is that? What is going on? Yeah, I just think taking time to find your style, find you. You're meeting all these new people. College really is a great opportunity to like see other perspectives, see where other people grew up. You get to meet people from all over, you know? Like I came from a really tiny town in Oregon and I got to meet, you know, all these new people that I'm, you know, very thankful for being able to experience that and, you know, learn some new things.
Yeah, like if it wasn't for college, especially where we went, like we would have never met. We would have never been friends. We'd have never crossed paths.
Mm-hmm.
Like our school wasn't even on my list of like colleges I thought I was gonna go to. Cause like I'm from Seattle. There was a bunch of other places, SPU,
Right
Dartmouth.
there.
Yeah. And it was like my mom was just like, oh, their application's free right now. You should just apply. And I was like, whatever. Then in the spring, I was just like, oh, I guess I go like I got accepted. I'll go like look at it. And I was like, you know, I think I'm gonna go here.
This is it.
This is good. Like, I like it here.
And that's another thing, especially if you're not going into college right now and you're somehow listening to this. I think touring colleges is so important.
I wouldn't pick if you haven't gone.
Being on the actual campus is a huge deal. I was really looking into Washington State University, and that was probably like my top 2. But after being there, I was like, this is terrible. I never want to go here. I was able to really, you know, narrow down, you know, what felt right actually being on campus.
That's how I felt about Sarah Lawrence too in New York, because I was really interested in their film program. And then when I actually went out there to look at it, I realized I didn't like at all how they like ran their program or how they did their degrees or anything. And I would have had no idea about that if I didn't physically go there and talk to people.
Very important to, meet the people.
This is the environment you're going to be spending 4 years in.
Or more.
Or more. Yeah. There's
I
like,
still live in the college town.
yeah.
I like it here. I still stay here.
Be fair, I live in the town I did my last semester of school in. I did still graduate from the same school that we're talking about. I just did a semester abroad, even though it's just LA, because that's obviously where the film industry is, because I'm a filmmaker, if you guys didn't know.
Woo! Super Puppy. I think we should insert Super Puppy here. Emily's breakout into the film industry.
I will, for you, insert a clip of Super Puppy, but I'm
least-
going to clarify, I made this as a sophomore in high school on a camcorder, okay? Just to clarify.
I mean, you could just put Toby on there.
I'm not going to take the time to roto and key just Toby out of that really poor video.
Just like a screenshot of Toby flying.
I'll just insert that portion of it, just
yeah. Super
for you,
Puppy.
only for you, because I love you.
I love Super Puppy. I love you too, but I love Super Puppy.
She brings this up all the time too. It's like the worst thing I have ever made. Like it is the cringiest thing I have ever made. But it's her favorite. None of the films I've had her crew on, none of the ones she's been in, you were in my short film. Yep.
I was in a couple, but you know, I think Super Puppy just has a place in my heart.
I think that's where we should end it. I don't think there's anything left to say after Super Puppy.
Super Puppy takes the cake every time. I'm gonna find a way to incorporate Super Puppy into every episode.
I hope you don't.
At least every few. I'm gonna mention Super Puppy. Super Puppy.
Do.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like she said, that's where we're ending it. We can't top Super Puppy.
No. So go make sure you're following us on YouTube, following us on Spotify, click the bell icon on both. That really helps us out, keeps you guys up to date on what's going on with the podcast. And if you want more up to the minute information, go follow us at Takes2Pod on Twitter. We do have polls and stuff occasionally. You might see the occasional pet pictures pop up because they're
Super Puppy.
because they're iconic.
He'll be out of uniform though. It'll just be
Yeah.
Toby, not Super Puppy.
I
You
don't
won't
think he'll
even know.
fit. I don't think he'll fit in his uniform anymore. So he was a
Superhero
baby.
costume.
And with that, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace out, Cub Scout.